Hi guys, welcome to Switched On. Paul speaking here, and a very special What Is series of videos. Yes, you heard it, series. Going to do a few of these tonight, and it's GRID Autosport. Finally, we've got a racing game worthy of the name on the Nintendo Switch, and I've been looking forward to this one for so long. If you're not aware what this is a port of a old PC racing game, originally done by Codemasters. And a few years back, it was actually originally released in 2008, but a few years back, the guys at Feral Interactive, who were excellent, and big thanks to them, by the way, for getting me a copy of the game to review for everybody. They actually put out a version on iPad, which people were just absolutely amazed with at the time. And they managed to squeeze, a fairly modern racing game onto a phone. It ran really well, although initially when it came out, it was for high-spec phones. And then they didn't give up. They kept working and optimizing and managed to get it on a wider range of devices. And then even then didn't stop. They kept beavering away and added in extra visual effects and performance enhancements. So really, really great guys, Feral Interactive. And to say they've ported this to the Switch now, published by Codemasters. It's out on the 19th, which is next Thursday, I believe. And it's $34.99, £29.99. And but for that you are getting the first, for want of an English word, pucker racing game on the Switch. A sort of semi-simulator, certainly more of a simulator than any other game we've got so far. And yeah, I'm just going to take you through a few things. So in this first video here, I just want to give you a quick overview. Then I'm probably going to do a comparison video between performance and graphics mode. And then finally I'm probably going to do a second race more geared towards the American market, the Indy cars maybe. But let's start for now. Let's have a quick look around the game. So you've got a career mode. Right, I've cut out some of the load in there. The guys at Feral have said they've got a day zero patch going live when the game launches to cut a lot of the loading times down and fix a few other little niggles. So look out for that when you grab the game. So this is the intro to the career mode. Won't do too much of this, I just want to flick around, but I just want to show you how it runs really. So this, at the minute, we're in visual mode, so best visual, so it should be running at 30 frames a second. And I'm going to give you my reasons for which I prefer. Obviously 60 frames per second is the way everybody wants a racing game to be, but there is mitigating circumstances why I prefer the visual mode, to be honest. And I'll be honest, there's very little between the two. It runs brilliantly in both modes and looks great as well, so whatever mode you end up going with, you'll be happy. There's also a battery saving mode for when you're in handheld. Reduces the consumption and graphic fidelity. Now there is also a high resolution graphics pack, which I can't wait to get my hands on, because if it looks this good now, we get the high resolution graphics pack download. It's a free download, but it's not available until the launch day, so we can't test it out. Be looking at it when everybody else gets the game on the 19th. Oh, see the AI spun off? Lovely stuff. Really feels alive. That's what the great thing about GRID is. The racing just feels so alive, very organic. I'll flick through some of the camera angles in a second. See a nice bit of vignetting here when you're in the, or don't know what you call it, focus range really, when you're in the cockpit mode, so you can see that the steering wheel's blurred. Interestingly, when you go into performance mode and up it to 60 frames a second, you lose that, so that's one of the things that you will lose, is that sort of vignetting. And that's one of the reasons why I prefer this 30 frames a second version. Just love the way it looks. So let's flick through some camera angles. Oh, look at that crash there. The AI sparking. And again, it leads me nicely actually into the other reason why I like the graphical mode. Stuff like that. Look at that car there running with a flat tyre, practically running on its rims. In the graphical mode, it just looks better all round. You get like loads of particle effects, loads of smoke effects. Look at the grass kicking up there. Just everything feels alive. The sparks coming off the car. You get some of it in performance mode, but nowhere near as much as you get in graphical mode. And I just love racing with all of this sort of smoke and everything flying at you. Just makes you feel like you're in the middle of a race. Look at the lovely shine on the car as well. Just honestly, the graphics. And I think this is an advantage of porting an older game like this. It looked like it looked good back in the day, so it's going to look great now with a bit of an upgrade. And you can then put in all your extra enhancements like that 60 frames per second mode. Just smooth everything off. Nice new lighting effects on the cars are awesome. And it's tough racing as well. I love it. It's not easy. It's not arcadey. Really having to work to stay up with the AI. To be honest, this isn't a track I know that well. I think it's Hockenheim, isn't it? On the last lap here, so we might as well see this race out. Down into 14th. Let's have a look at if I can get onto a straight. I'll flick through some of the other camera modes. There's like a bonnet cam. Probably not going to make it. This is the final corner. There's a bonnet cam. So there we are. Finished way down. See, animated crowd there as well.
You've just seen a glimpse of what awaits you. And now, you're about to take the first steps in your motorsports career. Your goal? Take on each of the cross-discipline Grid Championships, culminating in the Grid Legends Series. Competitions that only the best can compete in.
Look at all these racing series. Oh my god.
Can win.
Just so exciting.
First, you'll have to race for increasingly more demanding and prestigious teams through the proving grounds of ever tougher championships spanning 5 single disciplines across touring, open wheel, endurance, tuner, and street racing. Welcome to
something
the
for everyone. That's really good.
Challenge.
I'm really much a single-seater person. I love single-seater racing, Formula 1, Indy cars. And just for I record this video, I had a little blast on the Indy cars. Absolutely awesome. I've been bemoaning the fact we haven't got an F1 game on the Switch. Come on, Codemasters, please pull it over. But yeah, to have the Indy cars, just so good. What I'll do is I'll back out the career mode, and we'll just do we'll have a look at some of the other things here. We've got extra championships, so you can play like a single championship. All different sorts here, from all the disciplines, which is cool. Custom Cup, you can set up your own stuff. Then we've got time trials, quick race, your options, help, and extra content. So there's going to be free DLC stuff. There's quite a lot of DLC stuff on the iPhone version, so I don't know if that's going to be carried over to here. Hopefully it's. Let's do another quick race. Let's do just a standard race. Let's not muck around too much. Let's try an open wheel race. Can't resist. Let's have a look at some of the classes we've got. These are some of the tracks. So we've got Barcelona, Chicago, Dubai, Paris, Indianapolis, the Red Bull Ring in Austria, Yas Marina, Brands Hatch, Algarve, San Francisco, Washington, Circuit Mont Blanc, Circuito del Jama, Brazil, I think. Sepang, Autosport Raceway in America, Hockenheim, Okutama, Intercity Istanbul, Mount Panorama, Spa-Francorchamps. And then you got some point-to-point races, Big Sur in California, Côte d'Azur, Hong Kong, Okutama Sprint, and then Donington and Silverstone. Let's go on Silverstone. Let's have a look at some of these different vehicles, what we got. I think these were the lightweights, weren't they? So, look at that one. Let's go with that. So here we are at Silverstone. In these slightly odd-looking cars. Field of 12. So going off the line. Let's get into the cockpit. Whoa. Whoa, they are light. Oh, dear. Oh, God. At the moment, the damage is just visual. You can turn it to be visual or realistic. So that's another cool thing. I've just got it on. Whoa. Got it on just visual for now. People have been saying about the lack of analog triggers. You can feather the throttle, it's not a problem. If you really do want analog, there is an option for the controls to be analog on the right stick, which I've not tried yet. And I believe also you can plug in a GameCube controller and use the analog triggers on there. So that is going to be super interesting, and will certainly send me hunting off for a GameCube controller. See if I can get one actually in the next few days. Whoa, these are super tough to control though. There's obviously, of course, different aids as well you can turn on. So if you're as rubbish as I am, you can turn those on. Let's have another quick go. I won't spend too long in these because obviously I can't control them. And it's no fun watching me poot around the track. So we're going to get back to some proper racing soon. Yeah, let's quit out of that. So we're going to go as Super Tourer, and we're going to go on a track I know, at least I'll be able to stay on the track. Red Bull Ring in Austria, one of my favourite tracks. So glad this one's in. So let's get to this one. What I'll do as well is I will flick on performance mode if I come out of the cockpit in a sec. Oh, door's already hanging off. So as I say, we're in visual mode at the moment. So best visuals, highest battery consumption, 30 frames a second. And what we'll do is we'll switch now into performance mode. You can see that you can sort of flick through it on the fly. There is also a third setting, like I say, for battery life when you're in handheld, and I imagine that only enables when you're in handheld mode. So let's go into performance. So this will put the game into 60 frames a second and drop the visual quality down a bit. You can see instantly, it's probably not going to be showing up very well on the YouTube video. You can see pretty instantly how much smoother it is. I won't say how much, that's wrong. You can just tell it's 60 frames a second. But you can also just tell it's just not quite visually as good. Whoa, these have got some grunt from the back end. So some of the things to look out for in performance, I say, is a less sort of smoke and detritus being kicked up. Also, the track around the outside not quite as detailed, not quite as sharp, not quite as much going on. See that the smoke's not quite as dense. We've lost the pack, haven't we? That wasn't ideal. Might restart this race in performance mode, just so you get the gist of a start. Let's try that. Let's restart. So it's a good start off the line. So you see there, not nearly as much stuff going on into the corner, not nearly as much smoke and sparks and stuff. Great screen shake as well, I love that. And all of these things, if you see anything you don't like, you can probably know that you can turn them off or turn it down. HD rumble as well, really brilliant, feels excellent. You can turn that down as well, or off, so that's a nice option. They've really just tried to think of everything for the Switch port. So wait till we get around this next corner, and then I'll flick it back into graphic mode. As long as I don't lose the pack. Whoa, be a good opportunity here to use the rewind. So you press X, you can rewind, like a lot of racing games have nowadays. Believe Grid may have been one of the first to offer it, so it may have all come from here. But what we're going to do is go into graphical mode now. So we're still in this pack. You see now lots more smoke, lots more grass kicking up, dust. Let's rewind back, it's not fair to get fair judgment because I'm spinning around all over the track. Let's resume from here, try and stay with the pack so you can see how much different it is. I don't know, I really don't think, I mean you can definitely tell when it goes into 60, but honestly I don't really have a problem playing in 30. I know people are going to absolutely pull me over the coals over that. I mean, I'm just changing the subject slightly. Overwatch is going to be 30 frames a second and not 60. It just does not bother me as much as it bothers some people. As long as you've got a smooth frame rate, I think that's the main thing. Gee whiz. Just going to rewind it again. Because I want to duck into a different camera angle. Whoa! Bumper cam's where the action's at. So let's go back into cockpit mode.
You're off the pace after the first lap. Chase down the pack.
So you've got your race engineer, like you have in most Codemasters games nowadays. You can use the D-pad
Your teammate is mid-pack and you're 2 seconds behind them.
to request 4 different radio calls. So things like your position, where your teammate is, where your rivals are, your lap time. But look at this, just in, I know it's 30 frames a second, I keep banging on about it, but I think it's fine to get this graphical effects. I love it. So look out for my next videos. I'm going to be doing a performance and graphic comparison video, hopefully get them side by side if I can, and also going to be running an open wheel race, hopefully with a little bit more success than I'm doing here. So look out for those. Hope you like this coverage. Drop me a like below, and subscribe if you're new here, and give me a comment as well if you're going to be picking this one up. Finally got the racing game that the Switch deserves, I think. I'm going to be doing a full review on this one for next week, so look out for that. But until then, I will get working on the other videos, so keep an eye out for those, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers guys, bye bye.